This is Raji Samjit here. So good to meet you all this morning. I would like to introduce myself. I'm basically a physics teacher and very passionate about my teaching. I also play the role of the vice principal, executing my administration skills. And I'm very passionate about the whole field of psychology and more focusing on the mental health of all. And that's the whole reason I'm here. Thank you. I would just like to remind you to let your videos on. I would be really encouraged and motivated if I'm able to see your faces. That's a real feel-good videos and give a radiant smile. And the topic for this day, I'm going to talk to you. The next 1 hour is going to be self-love to self-care. The moment I say self-love, I'm not sure what thoughts are going on into your mind. Let me just ask a quick question. If your chat box is on, kindly switch on and start typing. It's a very simple question. How are you? A very common question which we are asked quite often, right from a 2-year-old, upwards. Age is not a barrier. The moment you are asked, how are you? What would be the most courteous answer? Yes, I can hear. I can see some people typing out. Okay, that's beautiful. So somebody says, good, excellent, fine, thank you. Thank you so much. So the very simple, very courteous way in which we are supposed to reply when asked, how are you, is, I'm fine, thank you. How are you? It is a custom, or it is being taught that way right from the nursery school. Beautiful. I really appreciate that. So when we are asked, how are you? We know we need to answer, I'm fine, thank you, and courteously reply and ask the other person, how are you, sir, ma'am, or whatever is the person to whom you're asking. Now I don't want you to type in the type box, but I want you to think a little deeply. If I'm going to add just one word to it, if I'm going to ask you, how are you really? I would like to emphasize on that word. If I'm going to ask you, how are you really, my friend? Think about it. I don't want you to type an answer. I don't want to know how you are really. We so blindfoldly just reply anytime, because that's how we are taught to. When somebody asks you, no matter what is going on inside, no matter what your life situation is, yet you wear a smile and we say, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? But today, my friends, I really want you to think a little deep and answer to that really. How am I really? I would be really, really happy if I'm able to get the same replies as good, excellent, superb, rocking. If you're able to tell that, I'm very happy. If not, at this end of this 1 hour session, you will get to know, you will definitely know some tips to enhance that word so that we focus on how are you really. I'm going to ask you to be a little selfish right now. Forget about all the relationships that you have, all the people. You might be playing the role of a father, a brother, a mother, a sister, a grandmother, a grandfather. Forget about everything. The next few minutes, I want you to focus on just yourself. When I mean self, it is you and you alone, nothing else. I think you can afford to spend some time, or rather we can afford to spend some time just thinking for ourselves. This is a topic that I'm going to talk about, self-love. We are going to reframe it to self-care. This morning, as I was getting ready, it might be a common scenario with all of us. I really got ready. It was a little early morning. I had to come. So, I got maybe less than 45 minutes, half an hour's time. I had a quick bath and got ready. And when I was fully dressed and when I stood in front of the mirror, I tried giving a nice smile to brighten myself. But then when I looked into the mirror, I was not able to see the goodness, the positive things on me. My eyes was looking a little droopy. So I was only that I had focused. And my hair wasn't standing as fluffy as it usually. So that was the only focus that I had. That was the talk that I was having to myself when I looked at my reflection on the mirror. Quite often, most of us have this experience. The negative things only pops up first when it comes to self. We never look, we never appreciate ourselves. How many of us have looked into the mirror someday, at least for a fraction of a second, and said, wow, you are amazing. I love you. But if you look at large, 24 hours, whatever is your age, you calculate into minutes or hours or days or years, this many hours, this many years we have been living with our own selves. As children, we grew up with our parents, grandparents, we lived life with them. Then we moved on. Maybe once you get married, you have your husband, wife, your family. So we have been shifting our relationship in terms of living with many. It quite often happens and it's very normal. But this person called self, this person, we have been journeying our lives till this very moment. 24 hours bar 7. You can never think of moving away from yourself. Yet, we give least importance to loving ourselves. So today, that's the whole icon that I put in. Self-love is nothing, my friends. When you see the reflection, when you see the mirror image of it, it is actually self-care. Because the general view, the moment you say self-love, the moment you say, I'm going to take a break with my friends, I want time out. Today, I don't feel like traveling. I don't want to cook today. I'm tired. The moment you say something concerning self, people look at it as selfish. They tell, how can you be so selfish? How can you be so egoistic? You are narcissistic. Why? Thinking only about yours. In 24 hours, maybe half an hour you might take for your recreation. 1 hour you might take for your personal wellness, whatever. Generally, we ourselves, why leave the others? Why think of what the others think? We ourselves feel. If I'm going to ask, there are many wives and many mothers here. No matter how sick you are, no matter how dull you are emotionally or physically, yet you get up and you feel it is your responsibility to cook food, to serve, to do everything to your children and to your family, isn't it? They might not. They might tell, your husband might tell, no problem, darling, take rest. We can get food from Swiggy or Zomato. These days it's possible. But we feel guilty. Sometimes our family people are very understanding to us, but we feel guilty to take time out for ourselves, even when it is a need. I'm sure you will agree with me. I don't tell only the women do that. No, many of the men, the only, relaxation the men get is probably watching the cricket or watching the news channels and all that. But then sometimes we get a little irritated, isn't it? The wives get a little irritated. Full time he's sitting with cricket and whatever. So we need to look into a little more deeply on this. Today, we are kind of going to redefine and see what this word self-love really means. Self-love means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to just please others. See, self-love means taking care of your own needs. Need is a necessity, isn't it? And the word well-being. Focus on the word well-being. It is indeed a necessity. It is a need. Self-love means, my friends, having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness. I move to the third one, and then I want to end with the second definition. Self-love means having a high regard for your well-being. You need to really feel good and happy about yourself. That should be the beginning. And self-love means not settling for anything less than you deserve. That's very, very important. Definitely, my friends, we should never settle for anything. We need to change the view about our own selves. Now, let me move on a little more technically speaking, or looking at the angle, the field of, we are all talking about mental health, mental, well-being. Just this October 10th was commemorated as the World Mental Health Day by WHO. Literally from morning till evening, there were so many awareness programs. There were so many talks about the goodness and the mental health, the importance that we need to give. I'm just talking from the view, you could call it as a therapist view, a psychologist view, or a humanitarian view. It could be any way. But more than that, I would like to talk from the point of a humane person, not just being a human being, being a humane. I'm going to talk about this BMS. We are all very conscious about BMI. We know body mass index. We are very concerned. We know to monitor your height, your weight, and your body. What fat should you have? How much of cholesterol should you have on the physical side? But everything begins from the mind, isn't it? So today we are going to give a little more focus into this BMS, the body, mind, soul, the connection between these three and what these three do. Now people have widened their knowledge. They are measuring people with the scale called as PNI, which is the psychoneuroimmunology. Science has proven it without doubt that if a person is mentally strong, if a person is mentally happy rather, it reflects absolutely on his physical health. I'm sorry, I'm talking a little intensely. I could see all faces a little serious, but the topic is such because I'm really concerned about you and about you just as a self. That's why. Body, the physical, how you look at yourself. I'm not talking about your physical strengths, your physical wellness. Most of us are to a large extent doing it well these days. I'm talking about when it comes to your body, how do you see yourself? That matters the most. When I look at myself in the mirror, I know I kind of accept I look good, but all the flaws, maybe I'm a little plump, a little chubby on my face, all this, my nose is a little, a little huge. So that is what we look. So when I say body, your physical self, I'm concerned about, I'm trying to get your focus into how you see yourself. When you look at your reflection in the mirror, or when you dress and get ready, when you look at yourself, how do you think about yourself? That really matters. And the next, I'm going to focus on how you think about yourself mentally. When I say mentally, it could be, how you think about your positives, your negatives, how good you are, how capable you are, all those kinds of, the emotional thinking about self. That is what I talk about when I mention your mental health. That is your mind, connected to your mind. If you are in harmony with your body and mind, if you are happy with your physical self, and if you're happy with your mental self, psychologically, you will be very, very strong. So how you look after yourself, how you treat yourself psychologically, that is soul related. You would have heard about all these fancy terms called as conscious, subconscious, unconscious, but it is all true. What you outwardly think and keep looking at you and complimenting you gets registered into your soul, into your psychological self, which you talk about conscious, subconscious, whatever terms. These three have to be in harmony. This is not what I'm trying to talk. These are all proven research. So we need to also give a little more importance into the PNI, which is a psychoneuroimmunology. I summarize it. If you are happy mentally, your health will improve. Otherwise, no amount of exercise, no amount of dieting, no amount of treatment is going to really help you heal. Okay, now let's journey. Now we know what is this and what good it is going to do us. But before that, before going into the journey of self-love to self-care, let's see the do's and don'ts of self-love. Where we could, we are all adults. Most of us are adults sitting here. So we could practice on our children, we could practice on our growing teenagers, and we could practice on us self as adult. In children and in teenagers, the don'ts, first I will focus on that. We might be doing somewhere without our knowledge, not the intention of hurting them or, disturbing them. The don'ts, never compare them. This is a very common phenomena which happens by default. Not that we want to hurt somebody, but generally if there are two children at home, suppose if you're a teacher, I'm a teacher myself, at some point of time without our knowledge, we will compare. He could do, why can't you? She could run, why can't you? She could eat, why can't you? This comparison, it turns inward and makes the person, that is when we begin to love ourselves less. I don't want to use the word hate, it's a little negative. So we begin to love ourselves less as children. Never comment on their physical appearances. I myself am an example. When I was small, of course, my height, I wouldn't grow after 5 feet. That was accepted. But then, somewhere my aunt used to quite often tell me, Raji, your forehead is a little big. Try and comb your hair in front. Otherwise, it's going to become really big and you will turn bald. So that got registered in my mind. I'm telling you till day, of course, my forehead is a little big. That's the fact. But then still, when I look at the mirror, my first focus goes on to my forehead. And I always felt my forehead is so big and I didn't like it. So I didn't like this self with a big forehead. And of course, I don't want to describe myself more, but then my eyes, people thought I always looked like a Chinese. That's the reason I don't get out of my house without wearing a lot of kajal and I feel when I put kajal, my eyes looks big. See, these are small, simple issues. Of course, now I've come out of it. Now I say, if my forehead is big, good enough. I'll wear a big bindi. Okay. And I'm more brainy, it means. So I'm able to replace it with that. And suppose when somebody says my eyes are good, I said, okay, good. China is really getting so popular and it's fine if I'm looking like a Chinese. Okay, so these are the ways in which we are working. But then see, as a child, all that mattered to me so much. It really mattered to me so much. Standing in the line in class, they will say first, I used to be called Rajeshwari then. So they say, start with Rajeshwari. Why? Because I was the shortest in the class. I used to run, happily and stand in front and look behind and tell all of them, wow, I am first in line. But somewhere inside, I didn't like the fact that I was short. That's about the physical appearance. We do it unintentionally, but then we need to focus because all that turns inward and makes us love ourselves a lot less. That is where we lose the self-love concept. And never criticize on your abilities. As children, each one, very beautifully, somebody was mentioning about, I think Devi was talking about, don't judge a fish by the way it can climb a tree. A fish cannot do it. We need to judge it by what they are capable of doing. Very common sentences that we come across, very common quotes, but somewhere we seldom follow it. That's what I'm trying to see. We all know, we are all aware of it. The self-awareness in us is really, really good. But I think in teenagers and in children and especially in teenagers, we should stop this because we are indirectly making them love themselves less. I hope you're able to follow me. I think it's simple English, but then just please do journey. The subject is a little serious. The do's, replace all this. Replace, the negative, statements with positive. Talk positive, the same thing you are giving, but then do it in a positive way. Positive statements about them. Tell them good about their physical appearances. Had they told me, instead of telling your eyes are too small, you look like a Chinese, they replaced the statement with telling your eyes are so cute. They are tiny and, but still they are so radiant. So you are conveying the message, of course, but then in a nicer way. So when I look at the mirror, I'll know, I accept the fact that my eyes are a little small, but I will think that they are cute. And I would love myself a little more for that. So many things, like, I don't want to again go into details talking about me. Encourage them on their strengths. Definitely, I would say, I would give all credits to my mother at this point of time, because she really encouraged me in all my strengths. I was good in dance. I was good at cooking. I was good at everything, fairly good, not very good. But then she literally encouraged me. She said, "You're good in dance. Come on, learn. Go for performances." Though she could not afford, she literally stitched a lot of dresses out of the way for me and encouraged me. So that is the strength today. People who are acquainted with me, they know the strength of that dance, that positivity so much is in me. Even now, if anywhere there's some little music playing, I automatically start dancing. That is the positive strength, because I feel good about myself. I love myself when it comes to dancing, because that was the positive input that I grew with. Think about yourself. Each one of us, we will have a lot of things which we know as adults now that was a negative affirmation. This was a positive. So catch on, come down on your negative qualities and improvise on your positive affirmations. Hold that and then keep climbing up. You'll feel good about yourself, because it's time we start doing it. And now moving on to adults. I don't have to elaborate. We are all really capable of really understanding it. The same applies. Never compare yourself. Even now, no matter what your age is, we get ready, go out for a party. We compare ourselves. We feel good. When you look at the mirror, you would have spent 5,000, 10,000 to get the dress ready. But when you move out, when you see somebody else dressed up a little better, then you compare, then, you go down in your energy, isn't it? So never compare yourself. Never feel low about your physical appearances. See, you are this way for a reason. You are a masterpiece. So don't feel bad about your physical appearances. To an extent, you can change. Suppose you're very plump, your health is not coping good with that because of your plumpness. Do a little physical fitness and work. At this point of time, if I'm going to do efforts, if I'm going to be unhappy with my height, all I can do is wear a big heel and increase my height. I can't increase my height. So don't feel low about your physical appearances. Acceptance comes in there. Never underestimate your abilities. Even if you're a tortoise, you will still finish the race. A rabbit might finish it earlier, but it's fine. Slow and steady is good. Each one of us are different. Never underestimate your abilities, and never let your negative thoughts control you. This is something that we really need to work. See, all of us will have negative thoughts. You can't tell that, no, I don't have any negative thoughts. If you can tell that, I would really applaud for you. But then there should be a balance. We do have negative thoughts. We do have positive thoughts. It depends on how you cater to it, how you handle it. You could replace and, the don'ts with the do's. Affirm yourself with your credits. I'm sure there are a lot of good things in you. Like I would affirm myself, I always wear a smile. My smile is quite attractive. So I would like to replace it with that. Whatever is my negative, whatever, when I feel like comparing myself with somebody, I would replace it immediately with something positive. Your physical self is unique, accept it. Be confident about the purpose of your life. That's more important. It doesn't matter. The quantum doesn't matter. The quality matters. So don't be focusing on the quantum. Oh, they have gone up in so much. They have done this much. I can't. No, what you do, be confident about what little you do, because quality is always important than quantum. And always let your positive thoughts boss over your negative thoughts. I don't want to elaborate a little more, though I would like to give a small story about, I think all of us know about the two wolves that are in us, isn't it? We all have the good wolf and the bad wolf. When I say the wolf, okay, it can be lion, it can be anything, okay? But I like quality of the wolf. They say the wolf might be cunning, the wolf might not be the king of the jungle, but a wolf can never be tamed in a circus. We don't get to see a wolf perform in a circus. I don't know the exact wordings of it, but I really like this frame. Maybe that's the reason somebody who got the story, got this incident comparisons done, this parable done, worked on a wolf rather than a lion or a tiger or any other animal. So the bad wolf is a negative thought. The good wolf is the positive thought. So you will have, the bad wolf will be there. It's like, when you look at yourself, there will be something which talks about the negative things that you have. That is the bad wolf. There will be at the same time some goodness that is coming out also. So focus on that. Let the good wolf win over the bad at all times. But you need to have a balance. You will have negative thoughts. That's very, very normal. It's fine. But then replace. That would do a lot more good. So these are the do's, don'ts in children and adults. Now we move on to really understanding what will this self-love do? You say love yourself, but what will it do? You acquire life satisfaction. That's very, very important, isn't it? We all live this life beautifully. We need to be satisfied. At the end of the day, when you go to sleep, when you get back to bed, you need to have a kind of fulfilling feeling, isn't it? Only then you will be able to fall asleep. Like the day before, I literally could not sleep because I was tensed. I was worried about how this show is going to go on. How am I going to talk? What am I going to talk? Will there be spectators? Will they encourage me? So many things were going on in my mind. I was not able to sleep. And yesterday, the whole day I sat through. Though I felt a little guilty of not sitting for a long time in the night, yet when I hit the bed, I was able to sleep. Even if it was for a few hours, I was able to sleep with a little comfort because I had a little satisfaction about that something that I had done was good. So when life gives you, when you need to acquire self-satisfaction, these are the things that follows. You will be able to accept yourself, my friends. That's very important. You will be able to go on with your life situations. You will have satisfaction in whatever your life situations are. And you will always have an overflow of happiness. Happiness and overflow of happiness. And then you will develop a healthy lifestyle. When you begin to love yourself, when you begin to care and respect for yourself, see, all these are similar words. If by telling self-love, is people are going to tell you are selfish, you are egoistic, you are narcissistic, that's the whole reason I wanted to call it as self-care. Then it becomes a necessity. When you develop a healthy lifestyle, you look into your goodness of your physical health, your physical wellness. Once you are physically fit, you will be more confident and you will have a lot of mindfulness, in the sense you will begin to live in the present. I'm sure most of you have heard a lot of talks and I think good outcomes of being mindfulness. As a very simple example, I would say, why is it called present? Somebody had sent this message very recently to me. I know, but then, it was nice to read it again. Because it is your present is a real gift. So mindfulness talks about living in the present, because when you think of the future, you have the emotion fear attached to it, because you are anxious about the future. And when you think of the past, there's a lot of anger, because, sometimes we are angry with whatever happened in the past. You can never be angry with something which is yet to happen. Okay. So there is fear, there is anger, but when you are mindful, when you're living in the present, it is just a present for you. You learn to deal with adversities. See, you can't have a cakewalk all through your life. It becomes boring. But you know when to handle, how to handle. When you say stress, beautifully my professor explained, we need to have a little stress, but that is called eustress. EU and stress. Eustress is needed, and eustress is extremely good for all of us. Because eustress comes as a push. Today, if I have to sit and talk, 1 hour, we have been planning for this, record work for almost 3 months. From beginning of August, if there was not a target, that stress, that tension that I had, that I have to do well, 29 offers, we need to compete, we need to do well. This eustress, which I would call, was the positive stress that we had. If not, why would we do? If not, will 29 offers come, put in and, stay day, night and do this 58-hour marathon? No, that is eustress. But something that you can't really control. I only think, oh my God, 58 hours, 2 hours I have to do. And if I keep thinking and sitting and build up the stress, but I don't do the outcome, then that becomes a stress factor for me. So eustress is absolutely good. We need to all have a little eustress, but that gets kind of relaxed. I've done one presentation, okay, halfway through I'm relaxed. Now I do this a little more relaxed. But at the end of 58 hours, when my entire team does, then this eustress gets replaced with overflow of happiness. Then the comparison, you will be able to compare, yes, for the good, for the bad, but you will be able to handle it in a better way because you will have optimistic thinking. You will be able to look at the positive side of it. And that would push you to being creative. The best of all is you develop a very healthy esteem, self-esteem about yourself, a feel-good factor. So many people will give a compliment, will give you compliments. They say you're good, you're that, you're this, in different forms, in different ways. They would, compliment you, but nothing like you standing in front of the mirror and having a feel-good factor about yourself. The kick that you get from that is totally different. And I really wish, and I want you to work towards it. And you would know why I'm so involved, so talking from the heart in a few minutes from now. Okay, of course, the focus is on mental health. So can we develop self-love? Now, you might think, I'm already 45, I'm already 50, half my life is over. Now, where do I go back and reframe what is done on my childhood? Okay, be happy, my friends. It is possible because it's a big, big yes. And the formula is very simple. If I don't share this example of Raji, that is myself now, you won't be able to get this more clearly because I myself am an example. And that's the reason, since I have practiced, since I have practically experienced it, I wish to share this with you. Would you like to hear that? Here I go. A few years ago, one of my friends, whom I trust and I think is really wise enough, said to me, Raji, it's time you learn to love yourself. I was like, kind of, love? Love yourself? What does it mean? Literally. I know I look good, all that is fine, but what do you mean by love yourself? I was really stuck. I really didn't understand what it was or what she meant. That's my friend there. Okay. So I drew literally a blank. It did not actually make any sense to me. The same three words, what self-love, what love yourself is she talking about? That's just selfishness. How can I think? What is there to love yourselves? Because I was unable to understand right from childhood. I think if I ask you this question, what is a beautiful love story that you're able to recall? I know it'll take a little while to type, but some of you, if you're quickly, you can type love story, which we have heard in history, which we have heard in ways of poetry or Shakespeare's, good works. I'm sure, let me name a few to recall you. The moment I said love story, I could see a lot of smiles, a lot of, laughing. Oh, Jyota Akbar. Okay, fine, beautiful. Okay, Romeo, Juliet, Laila Majnu, maybe Mumtaz, Shah Jahan. We have a symbolic, truth for that in the form of Taj Mahal. Yes, all the time we are only taught about love stories which involves two people. Okay. Of course, so for so many generations, it was mostly a boy and a girl, but now the concept is changing. It can be between a girl and a boy and a boy, which is acceptable. Fine, I'm not commenting on that. But when it is a love story, it's always involving two people, isn't it? I was just thinking, why weren't we taught a love story can always be even within inside, inward? It can be you loving yourself. That's also two people. We have an outer self, we have an inner self, isn't it? So if we begin to love our outer self, turn inward and begin our inner self, I can guarantee you, my friends, you will never have a love failure. You will enjoy that love. So that is what I guess she meant when she said self-love. She wanted to change the concept of don't think of getting love from outside. Why only focus from somebody else? Can't you give it to yourself? Of course, if you get from outside, that's only bonus. I can explain this with a small example, okay? So I didn't want to take a boy and a girl. I played safe with a mother and a child because that is the best example for nurturing, isn't it? There is no selfishness in a mother raising up her child. So we have a mother A and a child A. The mother A is moody, critical, unpredictable, keeps shouting at the child, talking all negative things in particular. How does the child respond and develop? The child will be unsure. It will have no confidence. It will have self-hate. It will have no bond, no trust in itself, isn't it? Because that is what is being fed. Mother says and the child obeys and the child follows. Now, a mother B. A mother B is warm. She is understanding. She is patient, firm, and encouraging. How does a child develop? The child B. It becomes curious. It becomes creative. It has a positive outlook of life and it gets very confident. So mother A, child A, mother B, and child B. She made it very clear that metaphorically, we are the mother and the child to ourselves. There is no external factor involved at all. You can decide whether you are going to be mother A to the child inside, or you're going to be mother B to the child inside of you. We have a beautiful concept called as inner child. There's always an inner child in all of us. You name it anything. You could call it inner pilot. You can call it, your self-confidence, different names. But there is an inner self which we always have. And that inner self just mirrors the outer self. So now I just go back to the previous slide for you to have a quick look into what mother A does, what child A picks up, what mother B does, and what child B picks up. And now you need to decide whether we will be mother A or mother B. When all this was explained to me so beautifully, I was a mother A, a very critical mother A to this child inside. I said, no, I might be 30, I might be 40. I don't want to tell my age, oh my God. Okay, I'll keep you guessing. So I decided I will be mother B to the child inside because I knew self-love is the key to happiness. What does self-love actually mean? It was a beautiful lesson that I learned. And if you'd like the story, not a story, it's a real incident of this girl's life. If you really like it, see what good self-love does. It means actually caring for oneself. Self-love means not looking into the mirror and telling, oh, I love you, giving you roses. No, that's not what is self-love. It means taking care of yourself. That's a basic necessity. End of the day, you need to live your life. You live your life for yourself 24/7, isn't it? Taking responsibility for oneself, that's very important. If you are this way, you can't blame the situations in life. Situations outside will be like that. Like, it's a 90-10 rule that we all know. 90% everything will go wrong. 10% depends on how you respond. So you need to take care, take responsibility for yourself. Accepting self with all the imperfections, the flaws, and the rejection. Maybe you might have, a broken life. You might have not been accepted. You might have been a little failed in your career. Fine. Accept yourself. You need to accept yourself. If you do not accept yourself, who else will? How can you expect anyone else to? That's a simple question. See, all these are just reflections of whatever was going on in me. And I thought, when I learned what is self-love, I can't be selfish and have it to me. There could be somebody else who would love to, and I would be all the more happy. The next of it is to be respecting yourself. You need to respect yourself. Yes, I am like this. Okay, I love myself. I respect myself. It starts from you. When you start respecting yourself, you will see that people automatically begin to respect yourself. And it's never late for anything in life. I want you to really read that again. It's never late for anything in life. To know who you are. It's never late, my friends. The earlier you know, the better, but it's never late to know who you are. Now, I would just like to share 12 powerful ideas to practice self-love. You don't have to note it. As I told you yesterday, if some of you really like it, if you're impressed at the end of it, I would forward this PPT, because if through you, if it is going to somebody else, I would only be all the more happy. 12 powerful ideas to practice self-love. Start from where you are, the first and foremost. It's never late. Just begin. Forget about, you can't really go back and change. This 30 minutes that I've spoken, if I feel there's something that I missed, something that I misfired, I can't change. But I can focus on the next 25, 30 minutes that I have. No, only 25 minutes that I have. Be good to yourself. Love yourself. It's a beautiful example. The picture itself represents, I don't have to talk more. If you're an empty cup, if there's no love inside, if there's no love, there's no happiness, there's no joy inside, how do you give it? What do you get from an empty teapot? So fill yourselves with love. The moment you begin to love yourself, your love tank, gets filled up. Your teapot is full. And then you spread that to your family first, your friends, your colleagues, and then to the world at large. Think about it. The second one, okay? So next time when you're going to take a cup of tea, think about this, okay? And refill yourself. Keep refilling. Take responsibility to work for anything that you don't love about yourself. Who else is going to change? Okay, I feel I'm a little plump, I need to reduce my weight. I note it down and I change. I feel I'm always thinking negative. I'm focusing on the negative. Who will change? You need to change. So take responsibility to change and to work on something that you don't love about yourself. It can be your physical appearance. It can be your qualities. You might be short-tempered and you shout at people. At the end of the day, you feel sad. How do you control it? You have to take responsibility. You have to work on it. So make a to-do list. To-do list. I think I told it a little fast. Okay. Write down. It can be secret. I don't have to show anyone, but as you work, maybe if there are 10, just see, just when you finish one, that encourages you to go to the second one. When you finish the second, that gives you the motivation to work on the third. So take responsibility. Don't blame people around. People might be good, might be bad, but you have to take responsibility for your own self. Forgive and accept yourself for not being perfect. I really like this word. Imperfection has a class in itself. It really is true. I might be a little plump. Olga, I'm talking too much about my plumpness, isn't it? I'm actually not that fat, okay? But then I feel there is a class. I still look good. So imperfection has a class in itself that you need to accept. So look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you are good. Nobody is as fat as you. Nobody has got the curves as you. So you are amazing. Tell that to yourself. I can see a lot of people smiling. Good. Shift focus on your positives. Express gratitude to yourself. This is something I really, really want to emphasize on. How many of you, how many of us say thank you to our own selves? Just imagine this little brain of yours, this, little big or small body of yours, how much it is doing things for you. You might be in a good situation. You might be in a really tough situation. You might be in a financial crisis. You might be at the loss. Mentally, you are really upset, anxious. Everything is there. But you yourself is handling it so well, isn't it? Today, if we are all sitting this morning hour and talking, looking at each of us through the media, it's because yourself has pushed you all these days. So rock your self-gratitude. Say thank you to yourself. We seldom, it might look a little absurd, but then it is a fact. You need to thank yourself for every small thing. Tell yourself that you are my favorite thing. You are withstanding so much of pressure. You are taking life so beautifully. Tell yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are my favorite thing. And applaud, encourage yourself, telling you are incredible. You are marvelous. We need positive affirmations. It's not just the children need, we tell all these lovely things to children. We tell you're so sweet, you're so that, but we are also needing, because there is an inner child in all of us. Focus on that. Think about it. Forget your past mistakes. All of us have done mistakes. There cannot be anybody. We learn from mistakes, isn't it? After all these years, I wanted to do cycling. So I was trying to learn but then I was unable to. So I was thinking, I should have learned when I was a child. I should have learned it much earlier, but that's gone. So I was so angry with myself. But then I said, no, age is not a barrier. And there are good lot of examples around me. Many of my teachers in this pandemic time, we all learned cycling for the first time, and we have started bicycling. So forgive yourself. This is only a small example. I don't mean that, okay? So forget your past mistakes. Tell yourself, yes, Raji, you have wronged. You have done. It is a grave mistake. Of course, yes. But what can you do now? So forgive yourself. No point in thinking I did that, and living in that unforgiveness attitude. So forgive yourself for the past mistakes. Take back power in your life. Okay, that's a Superman if you are a man, Superwoman if you are a woman. We can do it. It's my life. You need to take. If not you, who else? If not now, when? We talk this sentence quite often. We motivate our children. So take back power over your life. Wherever you are, however you are, tell I am not going to. I'm going to live a beautiful life. No matter what's happened. And the next 1 year, after the next 6 months, after the next 5 years, I don't want to be the same me. I'm going to take back power and live my life better. So I'm happy. Work on it. Commit to love yourself and take action towards your personal growth. You can't simply sit to look at the mirror and tell, hey, I love you. I love you. No, that doesn't work. You have to work for it. Grab every opportunity and make sure you are not just an option, you are a priority. Prioritize you. If you don't give importance to yourself, you can't expect it from outside. This is a beautiful lesson that I've really learned, and it's working wonderfully well with me. So don't make yourself as an option. You are a priority. It's fine. To the mothers, I would say, one day you are really dull, you are really physically tired, or you're mentally not well, you cannot cook, you are really well. Please take a time out for yourself. Most of these husbands during this pandemic time have turned out to be excellent cooks. Most of the children also. So get them to do. Or don't feel guilty for that, because you are not an option. You need to look after yourself also. Treat yourself as a priority. Be you. Do for you. For you. Think about it. Take time out for your physical fitness, for your wellness. Do whatever you feel. Because somebody is doing walking 1 hour, you don't have to do walking. Somebody is practicing yoga, so I have to practice. No, you have a lot of options, a lot of awareness. Pick up what you like, what you enjoy, and do something. Because see, if you're doing the first 8 points, I would tell, automatically you would have fallen deeply, madly in love with yourself. So that would push you to taking good care of yourself, physically also, because that matters. Learn to spend time with yourself alone, a self-talk. But please don't go out, stand in front of the public and, in bus stands and supermarkets and tell I'm talking to myself and talk to yourself. Sorry, I won't be responsible if people are going to laugh. When I mean self-talk, take out time for yourself. Self-talk does a lot of good, but then please make sure you talk positive to yourself. Okay? That's very important. The power of positive self-talk. You can just quickly go through the options there. It builds confidence. It improves your attitude. It promotes self-love. It helps cope with stress. It allows you for taking risks. It encourages and motivates you. It helps you work through challenges. That's very important. Life is challenging, but you need to, it works. It really, really helps you to work through it. Think about it. Self-talk. Do it when you're alone, when you have your my time, your own personal time out, and please do it. Okay. You could look into the mirror. You can even call over your phone and talk to yourself. Look at yourself in the Zoom. In fact, the sessions we were asked to have at least 4 or 5 practices, to work on the timing, to maintain the eye contact. So initially I felt it very funny. You know what I did? I logged on to my Zoom. Nobody else to join. So I joined myself. So I was the only participant, the exact same thing I was practicing. First time when I saw, I felt so funny. I said, what is this? I'm looking like a joker. But then no, Mr. Amit had told at least 5 practices, I have to be a good student. No, though not 5, okay, 3.5, 4, I could manage to have. So I again went on. So the second session, when I spoke about the same self-love talk to myself, I felt good as a listener also. It really worked. So self-talk works. That was my very recent experience. Okay, and it is a fact. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I say selfie. We are all focusing, isn't it? We spend a lot of time, at least I do love to take a lot of selfies. Of course, if I take 10, only 1 or 2 I'll be happy with it. But still, do it. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, my friends. I would like to insist on that. Okay, make self-love a way of life because it is self-care. Make self-love a way of life. It's self-care. When you say self-love, people are a little, interpreting it with, as selfish and all that. But replace it as self-care. Tell them, I need to take care of myself. Beautiful words by Buddha. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. What a strong words. How beautiful. You really deserve. We deserve to love ourselves. So don't attach guilt with it. Please don't. Because self-care isn't selfish at all. Beautiful words. You deserve your love and affection the most of all. All this I've spoken, but I know I'm a teacher by profession. I've told you, teaching and convincing a child is very easy. They obey because, they look at teachers as role models. They are very easy. But to persuade an adult to change is a real task. But I see you all as children, so, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, only adults don't pick up that. You all are all smiling and, so beautifully giving cheerful smiles and listening to me better than my, students. So I would like to compliment you. So you all are all children. These are only for people who are aged and who are adults. Okay, only they will not. Follow this 12 simple ways because, self-love, a BMS, you need to maintain a good body, mind, and soul index as well. It's not just body mass index. It is body, mind, and soul relation. Because once you are filled with love, once there is joy, once there is happiness, once there is satisfaction in you with yourself, it is then that you will be able to pass on to the others. So work on it because it is a necessity. If you want to improve on your relationships with others, I think you will recall the relationship skill that I spoke about. If you want to be more empathetic, if you want to have a good communication, good understanding, and understand people, look at their perspective and understand, it's very, very important first, friends, that you love yourself and get a kind of, harmony with your body, mind, and soul. Because it is self-care and no more self-love. I'm sure most of you, at least some of you would have kind of felt now, okay, if I spend time for myself, if I take time out, if I do something that I love, it isn't selfish because it is self-care and it is a necessity and it is a need. So I cut self-love and we will call it self-care. Actually, I wanted my title to be as self-love allies self-care. Because when we rename somebody, we call it that way. But I was not sure if that term allies would sound, catchy. That's why I just put it as a transition from self-love to self-care. See, it's a constant choice. It's not a magical feeling that appears to you one day. The moment I finish this talk, the next 10 minutes, I'm sure all of us will be so boosted. We tell, I'm going to take time out for me. But the energy level will go down. That's very natural. So it's not the feeling that appears and to you in one day. It's a commitment to your boundaries, your well-being, your mental, emotional health, and your body. So it's a commitment that you need to. See, when it comes to love of two people, there's a lot of commitment that needs, isn't it? It's an ongoing process. Compare with this love story of two people, where it is your outer self and your inner self. So there should be a lot of commitment, and it is a journey which continues. Somewhere I just recently came across this. I thought, it suited the topic that I'm talking about. Self-love, self-care, self-worth. There is a reason why all these starts with self, because you cannot find them in anyone else. Very, very true, isn't it? See, it beautifully starts. See, all this was there already, my friends, when they spoke about, self-love, self-respect, self-esteem, self-actualization. Everywhere they insisted, they actually used that word. They could have just told love, respect, worth, actualization. Why a self is added? That's the importance of self. If you love yourself, you love others. Very simple. If you hate yourself, you hate others. In every relationship with others, it is only you that you can mirror. Because when you stand in the front of the mirror, if I want to look like, I don't know who are the good actresses or anybody. Okay, so okay, I want to look like Aishwarya Rai. Can I? No. I will only look like Raji if I'm standing in front of the mirror. You reflect only. But if I'm happy Raji, I will look as a happy Raji. If I am a very sad and unhappy Raji, I will look as an unhappy and sad Raji as well. Please understand that we cannot give away what we don't have. So if you want to love people, if you want a loving relationship with all people around, if you want to have, if you want to give a lot of happiness to people, a lot of joy, a lot of smiles, you need to have it first. Simple as it is. Okay. 12 steps. Okay. I wanted to brief on these 12 quick care, self-care tips in case if you're taking time to work on all this, at least do this. It will be over in just a few minutes. If it feels wrong, don't do it. These are all just additional ones. If you feel it's not right, please don't do it. Say exactly what you mean. This is something that I would really focus on. Many of the wives and many of the mothers, we really don't mean, we don't express what we really want to. You don't want to go for a wedding, you are really tired, but you think, oh, how can I go? Your child wants some pizza, something to be cooked. You are tired, but then you just accept it and push yourself. Say exactly what you mean. Somebody hurts you, somebody says that you don't like, be straight blank on their face, tell them no, so that you are happier then. You need to look after yourself. Don't be a people pleaser. Trust your instincts, my friend. Many of us are having beautiful experiences these days. So go with what you feel. Trust your instincts. Never speak bad about yourself. When you stop speaking bad about yourself, I'm sure the rest of them also will stop automatically. Otherwise, you're giving a key to somebody and then you're going to be dancing according to the key. Don't be afraid to say no. Similarly, don't be afraid to say yes also. Use wherever it is needed. Use a no wherever it is needed. Use a yes wherever is needed. Be kind to yourself. Very, very important. Let go of what you can't control. There are a lot of things that you really can't control. So let it go. Stay away from drama and negativity. It will help you as a person. And end of all, love. The beautiful word, love. Love yourselves, love the people around, love everything around you in your life. And I'm sure when you look at all this, when you inculcate these qualities with time, when you look at yourself into the mirror, self-love being reflected as a self-care, you can give a thumbs up to yourself. You can say, well done. You are a happy person. Remember, you can make this world a better place by making yourself better. Definitely, you can make this world a better place only by making yourself better. So that is very important. If you really think you want a loving relationship outside, you want to be more lovable, you want to have a beautiful relationship, you want to be successful, you want to be happy, it all begins with you. Turn inward. Work on that mother A, mother B. Pick up mother B. Start working on. Take your self-time talk. I'm just kind of summarizing so that you get to know. First, decide I can start from wherever I am. Time is not a content. Time is not going to stop me. Move forward. Go into life. Make this world a better place at large for you and for the others. I really would love to wish you. But let's have a quick, recap into whatever we've been speaking so far. Let it not be a time where, okay, they are doing a record, so I came, I had to sit, I had to listen, I had to be a spectator. Okay, she spoke 1 hour on self-love. Okay, fine, my job is over. Switch off the video, switch off the connection and go. My friends, let it not be like that. I didn't want it to be like that. My challenge was definitely talk for 1 hour on one life skill. But I literally put my heart, soul, and mind into it. And I'm sure most of us did it. Every one of us did it, rather. We didn't just take it, okay, the challenge is I have to speak 60 minutes, I speak something and go. No, a lot of hard work is gone because I wanted this time for you to be really, really a life-changing time, or at least to activate your thinking box. I really wanted it to activate because we are all capable of thinking and doing marvelous things. Ultimately, people would preach, people would teach, but everything has to go inside your inner self, and your outer self has to turn back inside and look into and handle it with a lot of care. Please stop being Mother A to yourself. When you look at your mirror, it's okay if your forehead is a little big. It's okay if your eyes is like a Chinese, but still you are looking beautiful. That is how you work on you. You can't change the size of your forehead now. Of course, you could change the size of your eye. You could wear extra and make it look a little big. If it makes you happy, you can do it. But then accept yourself. Work on yourself. Look after. You are important. As I told you, 24/7, this many years, we have lived our lives only with ourselves, isn't it? There are other people who come and go. Parents were there, grandparents were there. Of course, if they still continue to be with you, beautiful, lovely, cherish those relationships. But you have moved on. You make different friends. You get to meet a lot of different other people. So relationship with others, people coming from outside, coming in and going, keeps changing. But you are with yourself. So take care. And that's very important. I want you to just focus on that, tea jar, the teapot. Think of the teapot. So you need to keep filling yourselves. You really need to keep filling yourselves over and over again. As I told you, it's not just a one-day show. Today I go, I finish the session. I'm going to go tell, hey, today I'm not cooking because Raji has told us, we have heard a speech about self-talk, about self-love. I'm going to sit back and enjoy. That's not it is. Take a time out for yourself. Do a self-talk. Look at the 12 points. I know you would not remember it. I would forward it to you a little later if you are keen, but work on it. Stop crucifying your own self. Talk good things to you. That's very, very important, my friends. Talk good things to you. Take care of yourself. I just want to have a quick look into these 12 steps of self-care. You could read it for yourself. Work on it. Pick up at least 5, 6 now, what you can, so that you will be able to go ahead and live a beautiful life. Thank you so much. You know, you'll have been really listening to me, and I only wish, this is one of my self-topic, I really wish I could talk to it for over 6 hours. Each 12 steps, you know, that I narrated, there is so much of stories, so much of examples, which I can really, really give and talk to you about. Share this with your friends, share this with your family. Only remember the BMS, not the BMI. Give equal importance to BMS, body, mind, and soul. I really take time to thank each one of you. Take a selfie, quiz, self-love quiz, and find out. If you're able to quickly, just type self-love quiz, you get this website. It really works beautifully. Take time out, learn how much you love yourself. It'll help you work on it. Thank you so very much for this patient listening.